Uh, Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. For today, I'll be solving for x with you guys. So let me get straight to the first equation that we'll be solving. So let's start by solving the equation uh, 2. It is equals to x to the exponent x to the exponent x to the exponent x to the exponent x up until infinity. So these kind of questions are the easiest questions you can imagine. So you know that 2 it is equals to x to the exponent 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 x up to infinity. So meaning that you can say 2 it is equals to x. Then what do you realize? You realize that this exponent, this whole exponent also, we can say it is equals to 2. So meaning that we can just say here it is 2. Because this exponent, it is also the same as this base, as this, like the whole thing. So it makes sense in this way. So the exponent, this exponent, you can just replace it by 2 since this is equals to 2. Then here what's left for you is to solve for x. Then in this case, solving for x, it is the easiest way, like it is the easiest thing here. So there are many ways, but we will just use the square root method. You apply the square root both sides in order to remove the square here, since we want to solve for x, not x squared. So, and you must know that whenever you apply a square root, we get something like this. Why? Because anything that it is squared, it is positive. It is positive. So whether inside this bracket we have positive or negative, the answer will still give us positive. Hence, the value of x can be positive or negative. That's where the negative comes from. So our solution will be x is equals to plus or minus root 2. So this is how easy it is. Usually it is 2 marks, but we won't be able to see it if you are not focused. So these kind of problems, they are becoming famous these days, so you need to master them. Then let's move to the second one. So the second one, it is 8 to the exponent x plus 2 to the exponent x. It is equals to 130. So even this one, it has become famous. But the one that it is famous, I will tell you which one it is famous. So the first thing that we will do here, as we always do, like from the simplification videos, we focus on these bases first. So we must make these bases, we must write them in a way that they will have smaller bases possible. So what you're going to do, you're going to firstly press 8 on your calculator, equal to shift then fact. So the fact button, it is above the eng. So what you're going to do, you're going to say 8, it is equal to shift fact. Then 8 is equals to 2 to the exponent 3. Then now let's do with 2. You press 2, equal to shift factorize, then the answer remains 2. So meaning that the 2, we're just going to leave it as it is. So this one, we're just going to leave it as this. But as for 8 to the exponent x, we must change it. The 8 must be replaced by 2 to the exponent 3. So firstly, we're going to put bracket in the place of 8, then rewrite the whole other thing the same way. Then we're going to substitute 2 to the exponent 3. So what my goal is to have something like 2 to the exponent x to the exponent something plus 2 to the exponent x, it is equals to 130. So here there must be something. So what would be that something? So we must manipulate 2 to the exponent 3, then the whole thing being exponent x. So what you need to know from laws of exponents, it is that if you have m to the exponent x, then the whole thing being to the exponent y, it is the same as m to the exponent x times y and m to the exponent y times x and m to the exponent y to the exponent x, the whole like this, meaning that we can move from here to here, which is the same situation we are in. So we can move straight from here to 2 to the exponent x, then the whole thing being to the exponent 3. So here the exponent, it is 3. So now we have something like this, and what do we realize? We realize that this is the same as this, and it consists of x, which we want to solve for. So what you can do before you get confused, you can just let 2 to the exponent x be equals to k. Then you substitute k in the place of 2 to the exponent x. Then simplify it, then you get something like this. Then now, since you have gotten something like this, we must solve. Since now we have gotten something like this, we must solve for k. So how do we solve for k? First of all, let's write this cubic equation in a standard form. How do we write it in a standard form? So we apply something called additive inverse. So in order to transpose, you can subtract 130 from both sides. Then on the right hand side, you will remain with 0. So this is additive inverse, and that's where the issue of the concept of transposing comes from. So this is what you have. Now you must solve for k, but remember that k is not our final destination. So what we need to do, you go to a calculator, then you do this. In the place of k, you put brackets on your calculator. Then you substitute numbers, different numbers up until you get 0. So for me here, I will start with 1 going up. 1, it failed, it gives me negative 128. Then when I substitute 2, it gives me negative 120. Then when I substitute 3, it gives me negative 100. Then when I substitute 4, it gives me negative 62. Then when I substitute 5, it gives me 0. So 5 is the one that we want. So in order for us to find the factor of this, we can use 5. So if k is equals to 5, for this equation to be equals to 0, it means that the factor, it is k minus 5. So to find the factor, you just transpose the 5. So this is the factor of the equation, meaning that for the equation now you have k minus 5, then bracket. So now we must figure out what should be in this bracket. So I'm going to use P method, which can be called in different ways. So the first thing that you will need to do is to solve. You must know that here it is k squared. So this is easy to figure out because k times k squared, it is k cubed. So that's how you figure what's going to be here out. But if the coefficient of k exponent 3 or k cubed, it was 2, here we were going to have 2k exponent 2. But since it is 1, so we're just going to have an easy k squared. So that's the first step. Then the next step, it is for you to say negative 130, which is this, divided by negative 5, which is this. Then now let's say plus pk, because we don't know what's the value of p. So now let's simplify this. K minus 5, then here you have k squared plus pk plus what is it? Punch your calculator. Negative 130 over negative 5, it is 26. Then now you must find the value of p. So how do we find the value of p? So let me rewrite the original equation here. So how do we solve for pk? So how do you solve for p? So the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to decide, but in this case we have no option. We just have to focus on k. So I'll show you what I mean by focusing on k. So we're going to this equation here. So what you're going to do, you're going to say k times k squared, you get k cubed. So that's not what we want. Then k multiplied by pk, it is equals to p to k to the exponent 2. That's not what we want because it has k squared, but we want the one that only has p, that has k. So now let's say k multiplied by 26, now we have 26k. So that's what we want. Then now we are done with using k. So now we go to -5. So -5 multiplied by k squared, it is negative k squared. That's not what we want. Then -5 multiplied by pk, it is -5 pk. That's what we want because it has only one, it is k, not k squared, not k cubed. pk, it is equal to it is equals to what? It is equal to k. So where does this k come from? It comes from here. So now what we are going to do, we are going to take k as a common factor on both sides. So we're going to have something like then we divide both sides by k, then they divide each other. Then now what you do, you need to solve for p. Then you can transpose 26. You're going to have something like this. 1 minus 26, it is -25. Then here you divide both sides by -5. Then you get 5 as your answer, meaning that p, it is 5. Then your equation now, it is k squared plus 5k plus 26. So now we are moving to it. Now we are moving. So what you can do now, you can say k minus 5, it is equals to 0, or k squared plus 5p plus 26 is equals to 0. So what I need to tell you where this comes from, it is called zero factor law. Where does it come from? So if I say x times y, it is equals to 0, what does it mean? It means that it's either x, it is 0, or y, it is 0, or both of them are 0. Because any number that you multiply by 0, it is equal to 0. So meaning that x can be 0 or y can be 0. So this is the probability. This is the possible chances. But now let's focus on the issue that we are facing right now. So k, it is equal to 5 this side. Then let's go to this side. So this side we must factorize. So factorizing a quadratic equation whereby k squared, it has a coefficient of 1. It is quite easy. So the first thing that you need to do, you need to find the numbers of which when you multiply them, they give you 26, but when you add or subtract them, they give you 5. So what can be those numbers? So 2 and 13, when you multiply them, they give you 26. But when you say 13 minus 2, it gives you 11. So we don't want them. Let's try another ones. 3 won't work, 4 won't work, 5 won't work, 6 won't work, 7 won't work, 8 won't work, 9 won't work, 10 won't work. So when we use our minds, we say we can factorize this thing. But before we conclude, let's try the quadratic formula. So let's say k is equals to negative b plus minus then b it is 5, a it is 1, then c it is 26, then punch this on a calculator. So I advise you to, when you are required to solve for something quadratic equation, just use quadratic formula, you won't go wrong. So it shows that there are no solutions. Also, it says error. So there are no solutions for this. So no solution using A. Then now we focus here. But k is not our final answer. So we need to solve for x. So we need to remember that k it is equal to 2 to the exponent x. So we're going to put this back. But how to solve this? So since 5 and 2 are not the same base, so we can use logarithmic equation. So how to represent it? You say exponent it is equals to log base, then here it is constant, then the exponent it is x, what we are solving for, then log base of the exponent. So the exponent, the base it is 2, then the constant it is 5. So this is your solution. Then it will depend if maybe they told you to round it off to the nearest 2 decimal places. So you just press the whole thing on a calculator, log base 2, you press this on a calculator, then you press equal to, then after you press S, something like this, it is SD, this, then it gives you it in decimal. So then that's how you solve this. So most of the time these equations, they don't come as they don't come in question 1. They can bring them as a scenario. So so now let's solve another one which is quite complex a little bit. So with these ones, I need you to be careful. Don't be intimidated by these kind of questions. So what you need to do firstly, you need to make sure that the x values are the variable x, it is on the same side and numbers are on the same side. So what we need to do, you can start by taking the 18 to this side or start by taking the x to this side. So it depends on you. But firstly, I'll start by moving x to the other side. So when you remove x, you're just going to do this. Now, where does this come from? So when you multiply x by 1 over x, you get 1. Why? Because this x, they divide each other. But we usually say they divide each other, which usually we say they cancel each other, which is not the right way to call it. But what can we say? Then remember that whatever that you do on the left hand side, you must do it on the right hand side. So even here, we're going to have something like this. Then this side will be 6, since the exponent will be 1. Then here we're going to say x to the exponent 18 times 1 over x from law of exponents, which is represented in this way. You are familiar with it. Then we are going to have this, but now we need to move the 18. So how are we going to move the 18? We are going to move 18 the same way. So 18 over x times 1 over 18. The 18, this 18 divide this 18, or they cancel out like the way you. So we're going to have this. But remember that whatever that you do on the left hand side or on the right hand side, you must do it on the left hand side. So I will explain why they say what you do on the left hand side, you must do on the right hand side. It is because this is an equation. So if what you do on the left, you don't do on the right, meaning now the equation is no longer an equation. It's an inequality, because when you change the left hand side, it's either the left hand side will now be greater or less than the right hand side. So now it is no longer an equation, it is an inequality. So you need to really pay attention to that. So now we must make sure that the left hand side, it is in the form x to the exponent 1 over x, meaning that this here must be the same as this, the base. So how can we really know? So let me write 6 here, then write on the other right 1 over 18. So that's the first thing that I need to do. So let me start with 1. Put exponent 1 here, you get 6. Exponent 2, it is 36. Exponent 3 here, it is 216. Then let me just say to the exponent 4. Then now let's move to the exponent. So 1 over 18 multiplied by 1 over 1, it is 1 over 18, which you don't want. Then 1 over 18 times 2 over 2, it is equals to 2 over 36. So there's something that you need to realize. Here it is 36, here it is 36. So we focus on the denominator of the exponent, and also this. Then there's something that you really notice. It is that here you have raised it to the power 2, then here you have multiplied by 2 over 2. So how can we really manipulate 6 to the exponent 1 over 18 in order to be 36 to the exponent 1 over 36? So we need to change it to this form. So what we need to do, we need to raise, what you need to do, it is easy. So the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to say, you're going to rewrite this thing, then raise the whole thing to the exponent 2 over 2, because we're working with 2's here. We're working with 2's. Then now you must manipulate it further. Then when you manipulate it further, you do this. It is quite straightforward when you reach this point. So now you have this. So now we can see that this is written in this form, meaning that x it is equals to 36. There are other ways in which you can solve this, but not on your level as a matriculant. So this kind of questions, they just train your mind. They are not really abused or there in the exam, but you just need to familiarize yourself with these kind of questions. So let's go to another example, same question. So we have x to the exponent 9 is equals to 3 to the exponent x. So we know we must transfer x to the other side and 9 to the other side. So let's start by transferring x. So how do we transfer x? The same way. We're just going to say this the same way. What you do on the right hand side, you do on the left hand side, and here remain with 3. Then on the other side, so now we have to move 9 to the other side. How are we going to move it to the other side? So even here, same thing. We're just going to say then from laws of exponents you do this. What you do on the left hand side you must do on the right hand side, so don't ever make this mistake ever again. So this side you remain with. So the same thing even with this one, 3 here, then 1 over 9 here. Then first of all, exponent 1, 3. 3 to the exponent 2, it is what? It is 9. Then 3 to the exponent 3, it is 27. Then 3 to the exponent 4, it is 81. Then here, the same way, 1 over 1, it is 1 over 9. When you multiply by 1 over 1, it gives you this. Then when you multiply by 2 over 2, it gives you 2 over 18. Then when you multiply by 3 over 3, it gives you 3 over 27. So what do you realize now? You realize that 27, it is equals to 27. And also, same situation here. This 3 here, we're also working with 3s. So you see now, it starts making sense. Meaning that you're going to manipulate the right hand side. How? You just raise everything to the power 3 over 3. This 3 over 3. Then now it is time for you to manipulate. Then when you manipulate, this is what comes out. Then you get something like so this is how easy this is solved. So you can see that this is written in this form, meaning that x it is equals to 27. So thank you thanks guys for watching. Please like, share and subscribe for more videos. Yeah.